Gabriel Manick, and thank you for tuning in for a new episode of Talking Life. Today I'm going to be talking about mind, body, and soul. So a lot's been happening in the last few weeks, especially in the last week for sure. Made a lot of changes in my life, decided to finally take control of just certain things, like involved with work, involved with career, involved with my health, fitness, stuff like that. And things have been feeling really good, really good. I'm 2 days without coffee. That makes it look like 4. But 2 days without coffee, finally weaned myself down off of it. And so far so good. I did it in a way where I wouldn't have, those withdrawal symptoms, which I'm sure some of you have felt before. Then they suck. So yeah, so far really good. I get really tired about 11 o'clock and just want to get right to bed, and I sleep right through the night. It's wonderful. Things are just going fantastic, and I just wanted to share some of this stuff with you because I think a lot of you are going to relate to it. A lot of you want change in your life, in many areas of your life, not just one. Sometimes we think, things are going great career-wise, but, are things going with my relationships, not just romantic, but with my friends, my family? Are they going well? They could be better. Maybe my fitness could be better. Career is good, but still I'm not there with my finances where I really want them to be. So I'd like to start off by showing y'all some books that I've read in my life. Not all of them, because there are a lot. But from what I remember back when I still lived in New Jersey, there was a book that I got from a friend. I don't remember. I think it was my buddy Dan. But yeah, it's this book called Discovering the Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. It was great. It was a book that he had started, and then his wife Ruth finished because after he had passed. But this book was the first thing that started to reinforce like the positive motivation that I already had within me. And this is why back before I started drinking coffee, like people were like, "You work in a coffee shop, but you don't drink coffee. How are you able to get through life?" I'm like, I just use motivation. So this book allowed me to discover how to be positive, how to have a positive mindset, and ways to kind of like catch yourself in the moments when you're allowing negative thoughts to somehow get in the way of you making good decisions. So this is a great book. I suggest reading it. It'll get you going. And another great thing I think that is involved with mindset and how it affects your spirituality as well is being able to know what you're grateful for in your life. I mentioned it in previous videos a lot. It could be literally when you walk outside, you see the sun and the blue sky, you feel the breeze, and you're like, man, whew, that's nice. That's really, really nice. Sometimes you're in the house for just a little too long. You're feeling the AC, so like kind of chilled up a little bit. Then when you go outside, you kind of feel that thawing feeling, or like when you sit in the car and just for the first like 5 seconds, it feels so nice. Stuff like that. You can be grateful for that kind of stuff. And man, if you do that every single day, your spiritual side is just gonna be that much more rich. It's gonna be richer. It's gonna be full of joy. It's gonna be very nice. And then this kind of stuff becomes very contagious. So anybody you come across in your day-to-day life, chances are it's, like I said, be contagious, and you can give off this energy that then people can then embrace and take for themselves, which is nice. Because again, secret to living is giving. And that's another way that we can give to others, and we just do it naturally. It's not as though we're doing this on purpose. It just happens. So mind, body, and soul. So here's where you have to think again. It always comes down to goals and what you want. Where do you want to be at physically? Like, is it a weight thing? Whether you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to gain weight, like muscle. Are you just trying to be toned up more? Are you trying to slim up? Like for me, my downfall is just having some those junk food and beer. Beer is like, I love beer. It's great. It's a way to bring people together and just have some great laughs. And I just love the carbonation too. That's why like right now I'm drinking LaCroix. It's wonderful. So, but that tends to lead, getting not so much a beer gut, because I maintain that very well. Not the gut, but not having a gut. Um, but getting beer face. So, being camera ready as an actor, it's like you want to look how your headshot looks like or how your audition looks. So that's something I really need to maintain to make sure that I'm, who I say I am, so that I represent my photos. So that's one of the things that I'm conscious about when it comes to health, and just recently I for the last 3 weeks I've been doing this different kind of cleanse, which I heard about in Corey Wayne's book, Mastering Yourself, which is, look at this book, holy moly. So you see all that? Look at all those notes. Look at all that highlighting. Yeah, but he told me about this cleanse where you use bentonite clay powder and also psyllium husk powder, which is basically fiber. Both of those together mixed with water, it's going to clean you out. And I've been having the best 3 weeks of this. It's just, you feel different, you feel good. It's just awesome. So if you are interested in that, just mention in the comments or inbox me or something like that, and I'll send over the links. Or maybe I can just include in the video. That would just make it easier. Yeah, it's really cheap on Amazon, and it's just fantastic. You could lose up to 15 pounds, if not more. It depends on how long you've been allowing just toxins building up in your intestines. But it's really cool, and I think I have 2 more weeks of the cleanse, and yeah, feeling amazing. Plus, with taking coffee out of the equation, and soon, more like I'm going to be getting on the alkaline diet, as some people like to call these things diets. I call it lifestyles, really. But yeah, when it comes down to body, it's like how you need to do what feels right, but also mix in some research. So I got involved with doing the keto diet I think I did it for about 3 months. But I heard about it through my family, and then a few of my friends, and they told me the results and what they were doing. And like, that's pretty awesome. I want to do that. I would love these results. Like, not that I want to stay on keto, but I just want to get these immediate results, which is just drop the body weight and focus on that. So I did that for a little bit, and now I got the results I wanted. So now I'm transitioning into this more alkaline diet lifestyle, which seems right. It's balancing the alkaline and the acidity in your body, and I feel really good about it. So it's really cool. You gotta, when you hear about these kind of things from people, oh well, they say this is good for you, or I heard people say that this that. You got to do the research on your own. You got to do it, because a lot of people, a lot of hearsay, it's just not backed up. It's, remember the times in high school or college we had to have a works cited page, and in our essays we had to have, our citations. Pretty sure that's what it's called. But just to show proof that what we are saying, where it actually came from, where we got this information from. So do the research, find out, because sometimes you don't want to go to your doctor, like just schedule an appointment to find out about this kind of stuff. So just do the research on your own. See if try it out, because if you get the results and you're feeling good, you don't feel like it's taking away from you and making you feel worse. Hey, do it, figure it out. It's all about the correct balance. A buddy of mine, I guess I'm going to tag him because he's like, hey, tag me. So David Lewis, comedian, funny David Lewis. I'll put his. I'll tag you in the video, bud. But he always told me, life is about balance, and he's right. Life is about balance, but does balance mean 50-50? What are the percentages here? So when it comes to an alkaline diet, when you finally get to the healthy plane, it's 70% alkalinity and 30% acidity. So those are actual numbers. Find out what these numbers are. There's so many different things out there. Paleo, and then finding things to eat based on your blood type or the kinds of physical activities you should get into and all that. There's so many things out there. But just as long as you do the research, find out the kind of way you need to balance out your life with these kind of diets and stuff. That's what's important. Figure that out. And because I can't tell you what to do, because we're all different and things work differently for us. So yeah. Another thing is, I guess this is connected mind and soul. I feel like this relates because the 5 love languages, it's a great book. It really allows you to know what your love languages are and what languages you're speaking with not only your romantic partners, but just your friends in general. Like, a lot of people, they'll really appreciate when you do something for them. Like, they ask you for a favor and or say, hey, do you mind doing this for me? And then you do it willingly, and they're so appreciative, and then they're like willing to help you with anything after that. It's that's called acts of service. Sometimes people just they just want you to be there with them, whether they're having a tough time or if they want to celebrate something. They just want to be around people. They want to be around people they care about. That is quality time. Still remembering a lot of this stuff. So these are wonderful ways to just make your bonds, your relationships stronger, which ultimately makes you happier, because things fulfill you. You end up having relationships that are very rewarding and beneficial, and there's just a constant of giving and giving. So another one which balances out the mind big time and quiets down the thoughts that are there. It's cool that they're there. It's natural that they're there, but got to learn how to stop worrying and start living. Because if you're worrying every single day, like even before you set foot out of your door, man, you're setting yourself for a terrible day. Like, oh, my hair is not great. Like right now, like, look at that. I didn't put any freaking product in my hair today, but I don't care. All I cared about was that I had to get this video done before I go out into the world and do some Ubering and start taking care of other people. It's, man, it just took me back to when I was middle school and high school. I could not leave the house without my hair being perfect. What a silly kid. Like, I cared so much about what other people thought about my looks and how I looked, and the clothes, the hair, everything. If I had a pimple, I had to pop it before, but then it always ends up looking worse. But it's finding ways to calm down the mind and just start telling yourself, hey, it doesn't matter, who cares, it shouldn't matter what other people think, as long as you feel like you're doing right by you, and that you're not judging anybody else, and that you're just living freely and in your world, and you know that when you come across other people, you just try to be nice and be kind, and like I said, not judging other people. That's what matters. That's what matters. So I wish I read this book, and my friend Talia, she gave this to me as a Secret Santa present, and so thankful for this book, Talia. Thank you so much. And this little note you wrote in there, I wrote it the other day, and thank you again. It's really sweet of you. Next comes up is The 4 Agreements. This book is fantastic, and it just opens up your mind to so many things that you probably have never even thought of. And then it allows you to question what you already know, question whether certain things are real or not, and just allows you to see things from a different perspective. So that allows you to open up your mind, which then, when you open up your mind and you allow these things to come in, it affects you spiritually, because then you start thinking about things in a different way, in a way where it's like, oh my God, this is more wholesome. This is more, this feels right. And maybe for some, it's going to be like, okay, that's a lot of hosh posh bagosh. And it just doesn't feel right. And that's cool. Hey, no problem. But there's so many things like, about being impeccable with your word, saying the right things, not saying things out of anger or hatred, like, just really trying to take things from the heart and coming from that zone. Another thing is not taking things personally. It comes down to, again, like, not caring about what other people say. So, I can think about so many times, at least in the last week or the last few weeks at my job, things happened with some coworkers, and I could not allow myself to get offended by it, because I knew that the way they were reacting, it just dealt with their own insecurities and them being self-conscious, and you can't please everybody. It's important to know when to say you're sorry, because it's important to say you're sorry, especially when you were being a jerk, when you're not being who you represent yourself to be. And, but also it's like, okay, all good, no problem. All right. Just don't react, because when you react poorly, it just makes things worse. What are some of these other ones? Don't make assumptions. That's another thing. That's one of my other coworkers. I told her months ago. She told me certain situations in her life, and I'm like, are you assuming? She's like, well, yeah, I guess I am. I'm like, yeah, sometimes when we assume, later on down the road, we realize it was not at all the way, like what we were thinking, what we originally thought in our minds. I'm sure many of you have seen that before. So just be mindful of that kind of stuff. And also just do your best. It's important to do your best, because you're going to fail in life, and failure is just a word that is cloaked for just, you did something, didn't work out that time, okay, we're going to try something else. It's just you're trying something until it finally works. It's not failing, it's just experimenting, and life is just full of experiments, and you got to keep experimenting. So just like you're trying out this video, you're watching it, you're looking at these books, you're like, okay, maybe I'll try that, maybe I won't. Damn it, you know what, 2 months down the road, I should have read that book, because now I went through this situation, and if I had read that book, learning about being more gracious about the things in my life, I would have not taken that person for granted, or taken that job for granted, or taken my family for granted, or so many things. So try to be mindful about this, because it's all connected. What you think reacts to how you feel, both physically and spiritually. So it's all about awareness. Become aware of the things, the people, and the experiences that you have in your life. And like I said, with the right balance, doing the best that you can every single day, as long as you try to get better, one day at a time, step by step, it's going to be wonderful. Now the lighting changed. Nice mood lighting. Thanks for tuning in, and definitely share this with your friends, family, romantic interests, and I'll see you next week. Take care.